Good day, everybody. We are Till Carlos and Tom Liebert from We Create Online Courses. And today we want to tackle the topic of 4 surprising ways you will profit from building an online course. In this episode, you will learn how to free up some of your time, how to make more money, and how to get opportunities that you wouldn't have thought of before. So the first point is duplicate yourself, meaning free up your time. Tom, what do you think about this topic?
I think it's great. A lot of speakers especially, they only make money when they talk, right? And a lot of coaches as well. An online course is one of the best ways to have another you making money while you're doing other things, right? Because if you're doing speeches or if you're coaching people, you usually have a curriculum, right, that you go through. If you could record this and have it available to people at any time, even when you're sleeping, right? Depends on the time zone. Like, it's a perfect way to duplicate yourself. I also see companies doing this with onboarding. Onboarding usually happens the same way every single time. So without you having to take each client by the hand and showing them all the ropes, like, you can have a course tailor-made for that to get them through the same things. And you can utilize videos and slideshows, anything else that you would be doing normally, even recorded calls, and then just maybe have someone in the background taking questions, right? Which maybe don't answer right away, but like within 24 hours.
Yeah, and the good way as well is to augment existing coaching. Let's say if you're a coach and you teach someone, let's say 4 sessions per month, you can use an online course to give them 2 sessions per month. So let's say you do it only bi-weekly. And that's basically duplicating itself then, right? So you would have a course teaching week 1, you step into the coaching week 2, week 3 would be the course, week 4 would be personal coaching as well.
One example I just remembered too. So a company selling instruments online, and they created courses based on which instruments people chose. On the site, how to use that instrument, right? So it was like a beginning, 3 lessons were free, how to use it, and then 1, they upsold the instrument, obviously, because that was their business, but they also upsold the rest of the course, how to be an intermediate and advanced user of that instrument. So the beginning part would be free, just to get people understanding how to use and how it looks and all the beginning part, but then the rest was actually paid along with an instrument being sold. So it could be used in that way too, which was brilliant, I thought.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So you can have people actually use the product and give them guidance on how to use it and make more, basically create customer loyalty with this. Good. The second point you said is larger fees for speaking engagements. What did you mean by this?
Well, this is just from speaking to our clients and to some of the speakers I know. And it's interesting, most of them say they need to write a book to get certain types of speeches, certain type of engagements. A lot of colleges and companies will not take you on unless you have a book, which pretty much gets you into the door. But what they said, when they have a book and a course, their value went up. So if they were getting, let's say, $10,000 or $15,000 for that keynote just with that book, just because they had a course available and it was presented well, they almost doubled their fees, right? It was just they're at a different level type of speaker now.
It does make sense. I mean, if you look at online courses, most of them are from super high quality, done by people who invested tens of thousands of dollars, and they just put someone in a different light, right?
Well, yeah, it's one of those things where, if you have 7 speakers competing for the one keynote, sometimes the one with the online course will win out. I mean, that's the only thing that sets them apart.
Yeah. I also saw this, that people can actually sell an online course through the speaking. So let's say a free course or some free modules. In the talk, they could just say, okay, well, we give away this thing for free. Check it out. Just write on this URL, maybe a secret URL. I've seen this on conferences. They make a URL, like a link on the website that's secret for only this conference. So people feel they get value, they get something for free. and then they enter the funnel and get upsold later. Good. The next point is unexpected upsells. I mean, I already touched the topic a bit, but I think you have some more ideas on what can actually be upsold through an online course.
So I found two different things happen. For one, authors often don't make any money with their books. So by presenting the course in their book, which means the course should be finished up about the same time as the book is getting done, the course could be the upsell in itself, right? So if the book doesn't make any money, they just, it gets their name out, but the course might sell for $400, right? So someone that has a book now made $400, which is an unexpected upsell, because a lot of authors don't have that part of their sales funnel, right? They'll have the book, which makes nothing, and they'll have a speaking engagement, which makes a lot, but you actually have to go in person and do that. But the course is something that's like, whoa, I just woke up and there's 4 or 5 courses sold, and I didn't do anything, other than creating an actual course. And then when people teach inside the online course too, they often mention things which can be sold through, affiliate methods and maybe partnering with other companies, right? Because it's, something visual. Even some of the tools you're using in the online course could actually be presented as something like, you might actually need this, right? So someone that's doing networking, for example, they can teach someone how to use an app or some kind of a calendar, which they use, and then have a link to upsell that, which is easier than teaching someone that in a book. It's really hard to do a how-to on the tool in a book, which is not really meant for that.
That is true. And then after this free module, you can upsell a much higher level thing once people already built the connection with you. I think this is something that also people sometimes overlook. It's not just a course where you get information. It's basically building a personal connection. It's like a teacher-student relationship that you're building up online.
I'll give a clearer example. So let's say if you are doing a networking course, right? And throughout this course, or even your book, you mentioned some tool that you're using, right? At the end of the course, you'll have a bonus video, right? Which teaches the people actually what this app is and how to use it. Then at the end, you have a link to sell that thing, right? So it's an extra, but it's used to sell, but it's also because people actually want to know this. If someone's listening to you for an hour and you mention this thing a couple times, in the back of their head is like, well, maybe that's the magic, that's the secret bullet, or the silver bullet. That's the thing that makes him network, which is not. But I mean, by just, ramping it up in that direction and then presenting it to him in such a unthreatening way, because you're just teaching them how to use it, they will want to buy, right? People want to be sold things.
Yeah, it's not just a sales page where there's some copy and some fear mongering where something saying you need a product. It is a personal connection where the upsell gets just much easier.
Yeah, so it's like you're opening your kimono a little bit, right? Like you're saying like, well, yeah, I use this tool, but you know what? I'll let you see how I use it, right? So you're just showing the people what you're doing, and you don't even actually have to make any sale pitch at the end. You just show a link, like this is where you can get it. I mean, this is how I use it. This is where you can get it, and people will go for that. So it's these unexpected upsells, which I find they're missed opportunities in a lot of ways too. Like authors without any online courses and online courses without actually showing the tools or some of the systems that people use or books they read. Like there are a lot of these things which could upsell without actually having to sell anything. Like what's that one guy on YouTube that always reviews all the books that he reads? Yeah, right. So yeah, but I mean, he's not really selling much through that, right? He just says, look, I read this is what I learned, and then you can get the book here.
Yeah, and then he funnels, he probably gets commission from the Amazon sale, and then he funnels them into a book club, and in the book club they have been subscribed to the book club. I don't know what the software is there, but definitely subscribe to the YouTube channel, and then in the book club maybe a Facebook page or something, and then he can retarget them and sell them the product. That's something that you don't see when you're looking from outside. The sales funnel is often underground. So just having people engaged in an online course would create the opportunity to retarget them and get ads for a low price and then sell them another bigger product. All right, the fourth point is easy content creation opportunities. You mentioned here questions from students. Tell me a bit about this.
Well, that's the thing, right? So online courses are content, right? Same as books. So when someone's writing a book, it's mostly research and going off of their head, right? But when you start doing an online course, you will get engagement with your audience much more, with your students. And a lot of these questions could lead to additional courses, additional books, additional blog posts for your blog. I mean, there's just a lot of opportunities, right? So if you remember, we spoke with James Tramko, who has the super fast business. Most of his content and everything comes from just questions from his membership site, which is paid, but it's a similar concept to the online course because you have a group of students who keep asking you things. And you can use that to create YouTube videos and a lot of other things. And sometimes when you keep getting asked something enough, you might think, well, this could be a course or a book of its own, right? Which you would have never came up with. But now you have this two-way conversation with the people that, read your book or are learning from you. And you're like, wow, well, I can expand on this, right? So it's also surprising, too, by just talking to people where you can get different ideas.
That's right, yeah. That reminds me of our buddy Anton Crowley, who we interviewed. He updates his courses every year. And that's, of course, based on the questions that people give, based on the software updates from Amazon. I think that's really valuable. That keeps him stay updated and stay on top of everything. And I think that's a really valuable thing that I think is really, it's a key to online course creation, is keep things updated and listen to what people say as a feedback. Good. So thanks, Tom, for this. We encourage you, the listener, to go on our page, recreateonlinecourse.com/questions. This is where we put up your questions that you can send us, and also questions that come up from us talking to our clients and from us internally. And we would like you to subscribe to this podcast, of course, if you can. Go to the page and engage with us. We're really interested in what your questions are. And then see you in the next episode.